If you're looking for an e-bike with a budget of just under £1,000, these days, you're practically spoiled for choice. There's absolutely loads of them out there, but today, in this video, I'm going to talk about the Cyrusher Nova, which at the time of filming comes in at £799. It might even be a little bit cheaper. If you have a look in the description, there's probably going to be a discount code there that will knock a little bit more off. And that actually seems like a bit of a bargain when you look at what you get for the money. First of all, let's take a look at this frame. It looks absolutely solid. Obviously it's a step-through model and they do tend to be a little bit more robust in construction just because of how they're designed. But this one certainly looks very, very sturdy and looks like it will stand the test of time. No folding mechanism or anything like that here, which isn't great news for those of you that are looking for something for like a mixed modes commute, you know, taking on train, stuff like that. Not quite as convenient because obviously it is the full size no matter where you go with it. But I think that all depends what you want to use it for, and ultimately it means you have a stronger frame without a folding mechanism to worry about, not something that's going to wear out. And coupled to that, we've got 36 volt battery, 250 watt motor, or at least they say it's 250 watts. Might be a little bit more, but it says 250 watts on it. UK street legal as a result. Pedal assist only, no throttle or any other nonsense like that here. So definitely compliant with the EAPC regulations. And of course limited to 15.5 miles per hour. It has 5 levels of pedal assist, which is a bit different. Normally the controllers on these e-bikes only have 3, but I think it basically just spreads it out a little bit more. The top level of 5 being the full sort of 15.5 mile an hour, and then gradually lower speeds from there. I mean, I think make no secret of the fact that when I test these bikes, I pretty much do everything in the top level of pedal assist. We're not really particularly fussed about getting too much of a workout here, although with the more of these bike reviews I do, the more that I'm definitely improving on my fitness. I've certainly gone from never ever cycling at all to actually cycling relatively regularly, just because we've got to do that to do these videos, to put these things through their paces. Aside from the very sturdy frame and the lovely green paint finish we have here, we've got some features here that I don't normally see at this price point. So we've got Shimano 8-speed gears. I say fairly popular now that we'll not have some unknown unbranded gear set. But in addition, we actually have Shimano hydraulic disc brakes on this. So no horrible cable brakes that are a pain to adjust or anything like that. We've got nice hydraulic brakes, plenty of stopping power, which I think is important. Some of these e-bikes, as you know, they're not particularly light things, and obviously they can get a bit of a shift on. It's definitely important to be able to stop. And so it's nice to see hydraulic brakes at this price point. Something that is definitely normally reserved for stuff that costs well over £1,000. So definitely good to see. Top marks to Cyrusher on that one. Lovely clean LCD display here. Nice clear letters. I was cycling in fairly sunny weather actually, and can see the speed very, very clearly. We don't have any of that like getting washed out and like that. Lovely white letters on a black background. And then bits of colour elements showing you the battery level and the odometer and all that stuff too. Lovely display. I think that's something that sort of sets this apart from other stuff at this price point too. We don't have the sort of display that looks like it's off a cheap calculator. It's a nice little colour LCD, and it tells you everything you need to know very, very clearly, which is good. And on the whole, it rides really, really well. Obviously we're in pedal assist 5, so we're not putting a great deal of effort in. We're maintaining the speed really, really easily. It seems to have plenty of power, even for going up hills and stuff like that. Sometimes I find that 250 watt bikes with a heavy rider like me on them, going up a steep hill, they can be a little bit of a struggle. They can run out of puff, but not this one. Absolutely not. It's got power for days, which is nice. Does make me wonder about that 250 watt rating, but at the end of the day you can only go with what you've been told, and so no problem there from my point of view. But it does ride really, really well. Nice and smooth, fairly quiet drivetrain. Some of these make a hell of a racket, but yeah, fairly quiet. Obviously you can hear the motor running, but a little bit quieter than some of them. We've got built-in lights front and rear, which I think is quite important. I've seen these before where the rear light is like battery operated and isn't powered off the big e-bike battery, which always seems a bit silly. None of that here, it's all plumbed in. So you know that if you're going to be riding in the dark, as long as you've got power for the actual traction, you've got power for your lights as well, which is very, very good from a safety point of view. And we've also got an integrated brake light in there too, which is good to see. I definitely noticed that's something that's improving, and we're getting more and more bikes at these sort of lower price points that are including all these features, which is nice to see. Plenty of attachment points on this. You can have like a front basket if you want, and a nice rack on the back as standard, which you can bolt stuff to. And yeah, very good if you want to actually use it to carry things around with you and sort of turn it into that proper sort of urban bike that goes everywhere and does everything for you. It certainly looks like we've got plenty of scope to do that with this one. Ride comfort's pretty good. So we've got front suspension, which is lockable if you see fit, and we've got a sprung seat post on this one as well. So certainly, I'm not sure you want to do like hardcore off-roading in it, but it's certainly good enough for bumpier lanes and stuff. Very, very happy with how it rides. One thing I wonder if we'll ever see with these pedal assist e-bikes is like some kind of range prediction on the screen. Because I've got a battery level there and it's fine, and it seems a little bit less prone to jumping around to some of them. Some of them, if you start cycling up a steep hill, the battery goes way down and then it goes back up again, because all it's doing basically is looking at what's available at that very moment in time. But I do wonder if we could, the way you do in cars, we could have like a range prediction based on like current conditions and how much power is left in the battery, and maybe the past few miles or something like that. That would be pretty cool, because it's one thing you're left a little bit in the dark with these at the moment, is you just have this battery indicator. But I will say the one on this, it's a little bit more confidence inspiring than ones I've seen on other models. Assembly was pretty straightforward. It's a really good unboxing and assembly video Cyrusher provided. I'll put a link to that in the comments if you've got one of these and you're wondering how to put it together. All very, very straightforward, and really nice toolkit supplied with this too. Proper full-size set of Allen keys. I think that's a good tip for most manufacturers, including those crappy sort of fold-out Allen key sets is not the one. Whereas this came with proper Allen keys, not massively expensive, great quality ones, but ones that were more than sufficient to put this together without having to faff about too much. So yeah, top marks to Cyrusher there on the toolkit that came with this. I thought it was really good. And yeah, clear, assembly. It wasn't too much faffing around. Hardest part, as always with these, is taking all the packaging off them. Very, very well wrapped up to make sure they don't get damaged in transit, which makes a lot of sense. So they're coming over from China. But yeah, clear, easy assembly, nice toolkit, top marks. The assistance on this one is delivered via a torque sensor, so the more effort you put in, the more effort it puts in, rather than the cadence sensor you get on some at this price point, where it will just give you all the power in one big lump. I prefer that. I think it makes it a bit smoother. You don't get sort of caught out by the assistance kicking in. If you're just pedaling very, very slowly, it doesn't suddenly wallop you with a load of power. So I think the torque sensor is the way to go. I think it's pretty good. I guess the only downside of that might be if you're just sort of cycling in the city and you want to get off the line a bit sharper. The cadence sensor will do that for you, but it's not a problem. I think, especially in pedal assist 5 on this, it delivers the power fairly quickly and it's not too much of a concern. We've got a proper speedometer on this one as well, with this brief downhill section there. We had it reading 20 miles an hour on the speedo. So although the motor obviously cuts out, the speedo keeps reading. I had one before from another manufacturer where the speedo would just stop at 15.5, which isn't particularly useful. So yeah, nice to see that they haven't just gone for the oh, we're definitely compliant approach on this one. The speedo actually has a full range on it, which is nice. And what I really do like about this is, although it is a fairly heavy, chunky bike, I mean, it weighs about 30 kilos or so. I'll put the exact weight on the screen now. It doesn't feel like it at all when you're riding. It's not one of these that feels, proper, oh, this thing's massive and it's heavy. It feels really, really light, really nice. So apart from maybe if you had to regularly carry it upstairs and stuff, where you're going to encounter that kind of issue, a lot of e-bikes, weight is obviously a bit of a concern. Certainly this one doesn't feel like you're hauling something around that's a bit too heavy for its own good. So yeah, good job there, I think, on just making it balanced in the way it rides and not having the weight be too much of a downside. So should you buy the Cyrusher Nova? Well, As I always say when I do these videos, so I was sent this bike free of charge to review, but I was not told what to say and I wasn't paid any money to make this video either. So this isn't a paid advertisement, and if it was rubbish, I'll tell you it's rubbish. But all in all, I do think this is a really good product. Seems really well screwed together. Quite a lot of spec for the money. And so if you're looking for this sort of full-size, non-folding e-bike in this kind of, form factor, I'd say it's a pretty good one. It might be worth checking out other ones at the same kind of price point, but I don't see many with the hydraulic brakes and that kind of stuff, so I think it's a pretty good effort from Cyrusher on this one, and certainly would make my shortlist if I was looking. If I was looking to spend the sort of sub £1,000 and wanted these features, it would definitely be up there, because it does seem like a well screwed together, decent bit of gear. One thing I don't really like is how the battery connects to the bike. I mean, it's fine, it works and it's okay, but it just doesn't really inspire confidence when you take it on and off. I feel like the mechanism could be a bit stronger, but at the end of the day, it's a fairly common battery they've used on this. You can see them on quite a number of different e-bikes, and so obviously they're just working with sort of off-the-shelf parts in that regard. I can't really knock it too much. Some of the other ones I've seen are a bit more confidence inspiring when you got to take them on and off. Now, so you don't need to take the battery off if you want to charge this, outside whilst it's still attached to the bike. You can certainly do that. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. You can plug it in and charge it without removing the battery. And I think, as I said before, the only other downside for me personally will be that it's not folding. So it's not one I can easily chuck in the back of a car. Obviously, it'll go in the back of a car if you fold the back seats down, and it would go really easily into something like my Vauxhall Vivaro E. But if I want to, take it on a collection trip and easily put it in the boot or whatever I'm bringing back from the auctions, not ideal for that one. A little bit too big and heavy for that. I don't know if I'd overly fancy carrying it up those stairs at St Andrews Road Station for BCA in Bristol either, but all in all, it'll do the job. But you're going to have to think about that. If you're looking at sort of, like I said before, mixed mode commuting and stuff like that, you're probably going to want something a bit more compact. But if that isn't a bother to you, and actually you just want something that feels really nice to ride, has plenty of power and is sturdy and stuff, then it's hard to go wrong. And that is my review of the Cyrusher Nova e-bike. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it something you consider? As I say, there's probably a voucher code in the description. You can get some money off if you do decide to buy one, and that'll make this even better value. Thank you very much for watching. I know these e-bike reviews aren't to everybody's taste, but at the end of the day, we've got to do what we do to keep the channel rolling, keep the money coming in and all that, even though, like I say, it's not a paid review, but getting an e-bike is always helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.